Hi guys, my name's Ellie and welcome to my channel. I'm a little fancier than normal today because it is my birthday. So, I'm going to use one of my fancier products. And I thought I'd hang out with you guys while I did my eyeshadow. So, this is the Natasha Denona Gold Palette. I don't really know what I want to do yet, but most of the times I've used this, I've either done like a wash on the lid or I've really dug into Python. So I'm going to try and stray away from Python this time. But I also want to be really pretty because, you know, it's my fucking birthday. I very well might use brass. Who knows? We'll figure it out as we go. But base and powder are all on. Let's just get into the other prep components for my eyes, which is eyeshadow primer, which I actually brought over. I've had a habit of just leaving it over on where I actually do my makeup day to day. I'm just not bringing it over here and having to get up and go get it. So, let's put that on my eye. So yeah, I do not work on my birthday. It's just like a thing. Luckily, since I started a job at the beginning of January, normally people wouldn't have the ability to use take a paid day this early in their being at most companies. And I don't technically have paid time off yet. I do start the year, like all employees, with floating holidays. So all the holidays that the company doesn't use for, so the holidays that they don't close the office for, but somebody else might want to use it for, they give you a certain number of days that you can, you know, just say, I'm using this as one of my holidays. So you get a paid day for that. I'm using it for my birthday because I'm a monster on my birthday. I don't want to do anything that I don't want to do. It's all about me, and I'm alright with that. And I'm aware that is not a good mentality to bring into the workplace. So I don't work on my birthday. Anytime somebody's like, oh, well, but like, why? It's just a birthday. I'm like, yeah, it's just a birthday. But I grew up in a big family. I am one of 4. And so, like, most other holidays were shared, and a lot of things were shared growing up, and we had to be pretty good about playing well together. So I'm just taking a beigey shade from the Tarte lip palette that I've been panning and setting my primer. And so the few days that you got that were just for you, the main one was your birthday. So it was one of the days that you don't have to share anything. You don't have to be, you know, waiting patiently for your turn. You just got to do whatever the fuck you want because it was your birthday. You get to, you know, ask for a specific meal. You get to ask for whatever dessert you want. You get presents, and, you know, you kind of get the run of the place on your birthday. And so I know a lot of people don't care about their birthdays, and that was kind of something that got brought up at work where, you know, my boss was like, yeah, sure, whatever, take your birthday, I don't care. And my coworkers were kind of like, but it's just your birthday, whatever. And I'm like, you guys need to take some time for yourself because I'm not really doing anything. I'm very fancy. I'm going out to dinner, and in the past I've done like a little trip somewhere or whatever. Nobody was free this year, and, you know, changing jobs is tiring, and learning new steps for things is tiring, and I was just like, maybe I'll go somewhere, maybe I won't. I considered going to, like, the Science Museum, maybe the Botanical Gardens, and I thought a lazy day would be much nicer. And it's fine to do a lazy day for it, but it's my day. The boyfriend's taking me out to dinner, and it's just my day to do whatever the fuck I want. So, make sure you're making days for yourself. Because, like, the boyfriend does not care in the slightest about his birthday. He really doesn't. I'm always like, no, I'll cook you dinner, I'll take you out somewhere. Like, what do you want? What do you want to celebrate? Do you want to, like, whatever? He's like, oh, fucking no. And he kind of just grabs something, whatever, on the day. He's like, yeah, take me out to here. Whereas I'm, like, planning it. I'm very excited. I'm wearing a bunch of my gifts. Yeah, because the boyfriend gave me the necklace and then both sets of earrings and this new little loopy guy here for my piercing there, because he's very sweet, and he knows that even though he doesn't care about it, I care about it, which honestly is what matters. He doesn't have to care about it as long as he appreciates the fact that I care about it. So, what I did today was sleep in slightly. He brought me breakfast. I opened some presents. He went to sleep because he works on the night shift, so he sleeps during the day. And then I went home. I've shaved my legs so far. I've showered. I had a mishap in the shower where my conditioner just coated my hair, so it's clean, but it looks really greasy. You'll see when I take it down. It's not that bad. I might run by the store and pick up some more things that I just haven't had a chance to pick up errand-wise. And then we're going out to dinner. That's been it. That's all I wanted to do. Okay. I have to start making decisions. I think I'm going to start with Aria in the crease, and then we'll plan from there, and hopefully do something slightly more interesting than just painting my lid with glitter. Not that that's not interesting, but I feel like if I'm going to use the fancy palette, even though it's the fancy palette of neutrals, I should do something a little extra, because the rest of me is a bit extra right now. He is taking me out for French food. And I wrapped his presents because we have Valentine's Day and our yearly anniversary in the next 2 days. So yeah, I get to make a big deal out of it because I like to make a big deal out of it. And if you don't want to make a big deal out of your birthday, you don't have to. I also kind of co-opt Valentine's Day because it's the day after my birthday. And it's, you know, the day before our anniversary. So I'm taking him out to dinner tomorrow, which is why I wrapped up his presents for Valentine's anniversary. Yeah, I feel like I do big things for my birthday, but I'm really not sure I actually do that much outside of the ordinary. I don't think everybody takes off work, but that's just a personal thing where I don't want to and I'm not going to. I'm going to take that same color on my lower lash line. Generally, somebody else will also take off the day with me. And then we'll do something. I've done, I believe, the art museum, because I live in St. Louis and we have a really nice art museum. I've done the art museum, I've done the zoo. I'm not sure I've done Botanical Gardens on my birthday, or if I'm just remembering that I've done it around my birthday as like a birthday excursion. I did... I'm also trying to remember if the trip, for my first boyfriend, back before we were dating, he was out of town, and I'm trying to remember if I actually road trip to him for my birthday or for Valentine's Day, and I don't remember which one it is. Because since we weren't dating, it seems a little extra for me to have road tripped out there for my birthday, but I wouldn't put it past me because I'm weird. I'm then gonna take Log and kind of deepen up a little bit, and if that's too light, which is unlikely, I have more darks in the Tartlet palette to keep adding depth without using Python, because I love Python, and it is the darkest shade in the palette, but it doesn't need to be, oh, that'll be plenty dark. It doesn't need to be the main thing I use in a palette that's themed around gold. I don't need to just keep picking up the teal. I don't. I do really like Natasha Denona's matte formula, which is why, even though I think it's kind of silly that she came out with the Safari palette as an all matte palette, her matte formula for me is the most consistent, and it is quite nice. And I have the like split second where I'm like, maybe I should know no, Ellen, you should not buy a Natasha Denona matte palette. You have so many other perfectly good mattes that, as lovely as they are, you do not need the Safari palette. It's limited edition, isn't it? I want to say it's limited edition. It just seems right to use Natasha Denona palette for my birthday. Of all the days, this is the day to be fancy, to use your expensive makeup. Especially because these ones have some really lovely, like, sparkle payoff, which is sparkly. I'm going to take that same log color on the outer edge of my lower lash line. I think last year, this was also when I was panning, or not panning, 1 month when paletting the Lila palette. See, that's just such a lovely, lovely little mix of mattes. They fade out while keeping their pigment. They stay in place, they don't drop a ton of fallout. They're very, very nice. Okay, now comes choices. I might use brass. Maybe not. I'm thinking maybe. Okay, so I'm gonna try Aurum and then maybe put some lime chrome over the top. Because I keep thinking that I've used lime chrome, but I think I've just used brass a bunch. Because I have a slight similar sheen, and lime chrome, as lovely as it is, looks like I might not have touched the pan ever. So, to start with, I'm actually going to put Varis, this shimmery medium brown. I'm going to put it on like the outer third with a packing brush, just so that the shimmers play a bit more nicely. Ooh, that's sparklier than I was expecting. Oh, that's nice. It's a bit sheer, so it's still keeping a lot of that depth from the matte until it catches the light, which I'm fine with. Oh, it just lays down so nicely. See, she's... As much as these are definitely a luxury piece that not everybody needs, they do work really nicely. Okay, let's not rant about her formula right now. Let's instead add some of... Ooh, it's Aurum. On the inner half, so it's very pretty. Oh, damn. So yeah, definitely, you know, don't buy it if you can't afford it, but if you are looking to treat yourself, she does do something very special with her formula. Which, now that I've also tried out Pat McGrath, I think I'm even more appreciative of a really well done formula throughout multiple different types. It's like the mattes, the shimmers, the glitters, the like foiled shades. Oh, that is giving a foiled effect without having to wet the brush. That is unreasonably gorgeous. I'm not sure the camera is catching it quite right, but it is so pretty in person. Yeah, this is very nice. I'm happy with... Well, technically I didn't spend my money on this. This was a gift. The boyfriend gave this as an anniversary gift in October. And it's so nice. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit more of the shimmery brown, just kind of fade the edges between. And then I'm not even sure if I need to put lime chrome over top because it looks really, really nice. The Aurum didn't look that fancy in the pan, but it looks fancy on the lid to me. Okay, so we'll do a swatch just to see what's going to happen with that. What it might look like. Ooh. So that's Aurum with lime chrome swatched over the top. I might need to do that anyway. We're just going to layer stuff. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, so we're going to pick up some of lime chrome, which is a gorgeous duochrome shade, and it's somehow going to make this even prettier. Which I know, a lot of people were a little unhappy about it being so gold, but they're all just very unique and pretty. I'm sick, by the way. Somebody came in sick to work and got the whole office sick. So yeah, you can definitely see the sheen and the tonal difference in layering lime chrome over the top, which I like. Since the dress that I'm wearing is so champagne-y toned, I didn't want it to necessarily be the most yellow and warm of looks. But that's so pretty. Oh. There's so much sparkle happening right now. I'm just going to blend out the edges and make sure the shimmer isn't too harsh. Oh, that's so pretty. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Sparks, which is just like a glitter topper shade, and pop it in my inner corner. I'm going to use a fluffy brush, the same kind of one I would have done for the outer detail look, but I think they're really nice for doing a diffused placement of inner corner highlights. Especially with something this glittery, you don't want it to necessarily be packed on opaquely. You want, or at least I want, a bit of the sheer wet look. Oh, I didn't talk about anything useful, did I? Just how much of a brat I am on my birthday. And how much I love this palette. Well, it's my birthday, so that's what you get. Pretty much. Yeah. I feel like making days special for you that aren't necessarily a big thing, that are just about you, can be really helpful for just personal recovery. Like, you know, bigger holidays, Christmas, New Year's, things like that are generally group efforts, and you don't get to be as self-centered as, you know, sometimes you deserve to be. Sometimes you should just make a day about you, do what makes you happy, and do it in a way that is fun. Taking a day that I can just not have any tasks, anything I need to get done, that I can just say I don't want to, is really nice. Especially when you're sharing a lot of your time with your family, you've grown up with siblings, you haven't really had, you know, a self-centered childhood or anything. Like, it was always generally sharing something, if not everything, something. As well as spending your time in a relationship where you want to make it a communal thing. Oh, I just keep saying that. Oh. And yeah, it's good for your partner to make everything about you every once in a while, but you can make it about you as well. You can take your time, enjoy your birthday, or whatever day you pick. If you just need like a mental health day, be like, you know what, I've been doing A, B, and C for everybody else. I've been towing the line, making sure everything is handled. But it's important for me to take care of myself as well. So that's when you take your day. You say, I just need to be selfish. I need to have my needs met. I need to do some stupid stuff like have breakfast brought to me or somebody take me out to dinner that just makes me feel special. And that's fine. So that's what I do on my birthday. Not that I don't also do that sometimes, others. Normally if I've had a particularly bad day, I'm like, babe, I need you to spoil me because I've had a bad time, and I need you to be nice to me. That's normally my thing. It's like, be nice to me. Or if he's being, selfish, I'm like, just cuddle me nicely. Just be nice to me. That makes it sound like he's not nice to me. He's nice to me most of the time, but every once in a while, if he's in a rambunctious mood and I'm in a just like, I need to chill and calm down, or I'm gonna stab somebody mood, voicing your concerns and making your priorities apparent is good. So, this got weird. I just did my makeup and ranted about stuff. Hopefully this was fun. I'm gonna finish up my face, come back. I'm also gonna use some fancy lipstick, and then you'll get to see the grease patch on my hair. Because I've been trying to use more Lush hair care because a lot of it is packaging free or minimally packaged. So I've switched over to a shampoo bar. I've tried out their solid shampoo conditioners, and I had the Daddy-O one, which I liked, but I'm not dyeing my hair anymore, and since I'd been using it as a, it didn't really tone, I don't think, excuse me, but it was something that I was using in the toning range, and I don't currently care if my hair's toned or not because I'm not maintaining it, I'm not bleaching it and trying to keep it the exact same shade of silver that I was trying to. So I was like, oh, let's try out some other stuff. And I remember liking Daddy-O and the way it performed way more than my memory of the other solid conditioners I tried back in high school. So I'm like, maybe they changed the formula. Maybe they have a better system going on now, because I think back then they just had Jungle. And I remember trying Jungle and like really trying to like Jungle, and it didn't. I didn't know if I was using it wrong or if it was just weird. Sometimes things just aren't for me, and I really hadn't figured that part out back when I was using those. Turns out it's not for me. Jungle is even the new one, because they've since, instead of being just like chunks you cut off of something like it was back in the day, like most of their soaps, it's a preformed bar. And I thought I was gonna like it more, and I don't. Something about the composition between Daddy-O and Jungle is just very different, even though they're both a solid bar conditioner. I kind of assumed they would keep the base similar. They didn't. Jungle's still really slimy and depositing, and it doesn't seem to emulgate's not the right word, but you know how when you add water at times to kind of like make a film that you can easily slide off onto your hair? Daddy-O, it feels weird because it feels like you're just moving a chunk of plastic around your hair and whatever, but then when you rinse it out, your hair does feel moisturized. It does feel like something happened, whereas Jungle feels more like using grease. Like it's... You guys are gonna hate that. I don't know if I'm leaving those in or not. Jungle's a lot more like you can feel it tugging on the hair as you're putting it through. It's leaving a deposit of something that just doesn't seem to rinse out the same way the Daddy-O solid conditioner does. I don't know. And I was like powering through. I'm like, it's not my favorite, but I'm just going to use it up. And Daddy-O, I still have the last bits of it because I just like kind of smushed it on the top so that they would meld together the way I do when I have leftover bits of a shower bar or a soap. I just mix it with the new one so it's still in a size I can hold and use. It's not breaking into little crumbly bits, and then it just gets used with the next one because they become one. I tried that, and Daddy-O had lasted me for months. Like it was a beast. It was really earning its keep. And then the Jungle one, like it lasted maybe a month, really not that long, and it was like pieces were falling off, and like it felt like there were like layers to how it had been composed, and the middle layer was much squishier, and so it was like pieces were falling off, and they had this like it's nasty, and it just really didn't work for me. And then today I still had like half to a third of the bar left, and it just started falling apart as I was trying to put it together. And one of the things it did was, as I was kind of rubbing, because you rub the bar across your hair, at least I do, to disperse the conditioner, it just kind of chunked and then smeared it. And I was like, maybe it'll wash off, because like the Jungle hasn't been washing off completely, but it hasn't been leaving like a sticky residue, and I'm pretty sure this one left a sticky residue. And I don't know if it's I didn't rinse it enough or if it was just so much of the jungle was smeared through my hair in a much squishier texture than it had been in the past, and it's just, oh, it's the worst. So one of the things I'm doing today on my way back to the boyfriend so he can take me out to dinner is to run by Lush and pick up a different solid conditioner to start using, because most of it fell apart in the shower today, and I want to try something else. I have one more I'm willing to try. I want to try the Big, the one that's called, I think it's just Big, that solid conditioner, and then if it doesn't, I'm just going back to Daddy-O, because it works, it's moisturizing, it's nice, it doesn't leave a residue. I don't know how that one that isn't really geared towards any of my concerns anymore might end up being the one that's best for my hair now. I don't know. I'm really hoping the Big one is closer to the Daddy-O formula than the Jungle formula. If not, then if it's closer to the Jungle formula, it'll probably fall apart in a couple weeks and I can just buy the Daddy-O one and we'll be good. That was a rant. That was a rant about Lush products. Yeah, it's just really frustrating when you're excited to try something. You're like, I can do the thing. I think they've changed it. I think they've made it better since I didn't like it. And it's still stupid. So, Lush, I love your shampoo bars most of the time. I love the Daddy-O conditioner. The Jungle is stupid and it hates me. I'm gonna finish up my face. I'll be back. And this is what my face looks like. I have a little crink from how I put my hair up, but you can kind of see this spot that just, it doesn't look like I just shampooed my hair, which is fine. I'm gonna go out and do stuff anyway. But that's my gripe with the Jungle, is it did like a greasy patch. It's very shiny. It's very shiny if you wanted that, but the makeup I like a lot. I really like the shift and how Lime Chrome is playing on top of those. I'm proud of myself for not using Python, because that's just been the thing I've touched every time I've opened that palette, which is weird because it's not what I would have thought would have been my draw, but I like it. I am gonna go finish up any last things I need to do before I leave the house, and one errand on the way to dinner. So, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'll see you next time.